Ah! Take your mouth loud. Fuck. What episode is it, Addy?
183, I want to say. Let me check. Yes.
Okay, cool. So there's probably going to be a lot of background noise coming from my end because guess what? I'm fucking taking apart my desk and my computer while we're podcasting.
Nice.
That's why I'm on
You're
the
just gonna randomly cut out at one
mic.
point.
No,
Oh, because you
he's
unplugged
on.
the computer.
No, he's on the phone.
Don't ruin my joke.
Oh
But
god.
he's gonna cut out, but it's not because of unplugging the computer. Anyway,
How much background noise are you getting on that phone?
not too much.
I actually don't hear a lot, not
Yeah.
on my end anyway.
Okay, good. Because
I don't
I'm
hear a
actually
lot.
boxing up like right now. So I'm not going to be on for too long. I'm probably just going to be on for however long until I talk about my box up computer.
Yeah.
Because I am to box up some other shit. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So before
Okay.
we start everything else, I just wanted to ask Pink this because I ran across this and I was intrigued. So Pink, I didn't actually watch the episode, but I have seen like it. Why did you not tell me that the first episode of Cobra Kai is titled after me?
I don't know if it is titled after you. I don't remember what the first episode is called. Ace Degenerate. Wow. It is named after you. I had no idea.
See?
I gotta
Anyway,
step out for just a quick second.
all right. So Pink, do you have anything coming out on your channel?
Yeah, I'll have a lot of Hades coming out this week. Should be continuing up with some more of the Civilization 6 Aztec playthrough. And I'm intending to do a Civilization 6 Venice mod, which that mod came out just the other day, so I was kind of wanting to get that started ASAP because it just felt like spur of the moment and it's something I want to do. Because it's not the first Venice mod to be unleashed upon the mod world, but it is the first one to my knowledge that actually has the you can't make more settlers, you can only have your first original capital and that's it. So I found that intriguing and I want to see how it works. Because mods are always a fun time.
Well, usually.
What are we talking about?
I was talking about mods for Civ 6.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, I was actually kind of done. I didn't have much more to say. That's all I had coming out on my channel, to my recollection.
Alright.
If I end up playing Dead by Daylight, I might record that as well because I did purchase the Dead by Daylight on Steam because it was on sale, and I actually went and splurged and got the base game and the Stranger Things DLC as well.
Oh, alright. So you can play Steve and Nancy. Sweet.
Yeah. It was like $18, and the base game at normal price is $20, so I was like, yeah, might as well.
Alright. Mike is going to be very excited for that. Matter of fact, you might have to take over for me playing with him for a couple weeks, if longer. You know.
I'll fill the void.
The void. I'm moving somewhere to the abyss. You know where chaos takes you in Hades when you ask for his boons?
Are you here to
Right.
are,
I'm moving in there.
are you going there to kill Chaos?
He's taking his
No,
place.
Chaos is a rad dude. Have you not been paying attention?
But it's
I don't
It's a
care
first.
what that fucking edgelord jackass says. Oh boy, do we have to talk about E3 this week?
yes.
Oh, well, there's actually a lot of nothing this year for E3, which I think is what everybody expected. We're still recovering.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd say we're recovering. We're still like we seem to be at the end of it.
Okay,
But
some of the world is still in recovery.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the world is still in COVID. America has started recovering.
Right.
For how much we fucked up stuff while it was still going on, we were fucking on the ball about vaccines. It's especially great because, like, when I follow people on Twitter who are from England or something, talk about, like, oh, geez, I can't get a vaccine. It's like, well, sucks to be you.
Yeah, I saw Lance Storm. He sent out a tweet. He was like, "Yeah, I'm eligible to get my second vaccine, but there's a little problem here." And then he has like a screenshot or something of how many others are in line before him, and it's like 90K plus. I'm like, wow,
Jesus.
that's a long waiting time, I assume.
Yeah, I haven't even registered for
Better get a
vaccines
coffee.
yet. I haven't even registered for vaccines yet, just because, well, for one, I never fucking go out. But for two,
Right.
there's like a lot of, like, depending on how you get signed up here, from the looks of it, depending on how you get signed up here, that's how they assign what vaccine you get. And I would rather not, like, take a gamble on the government making a choice like that for me.
Right. I understand that completely, because they had their Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which was supposed to be the one that all the employees at my store were getting. We had a mixture of like the 2-dose one and then the Johnson & Johnson 1-shot dose. And that apparently got recalled. So, I mean, I'm lucky I didn't get that one, and I don't believe anyone else in the store did, but for a hot minute there, that's what everyone was supposed to get, and then it got recalled, and then we were like, oh, no vaccines for a while, I suppose.
I think your work cheaped out. I think the Johnson & Johnson one was supposed to be the cheaper one that was got.
Probably.
Because I got the Pfizer one, which, so far as I'm aware, has not been recalled, and it's too.
Yeah. Pfizer is the basic one that I believe they're using everywhere now. The J&J one was in use for a while, and I don't remember what complications it was causing, but it did get recalled, so that's not available anymore. Hopefully it's not nothing too bad, because I hate to imagine how many vaccines we put out there, and kind of screwed a lot of people over.
Yeah, there's over here. I don't know all of the choices you can make, because there's a lot of them from what I can gather. But like, I know a person who got shot with the AstraZeneca shot. My mom was shot with the Pfizer shot. Apparently, you can get one of the Chinese shots over here. Also, most people got the whatever the Russian one was, because that's the cheapest, I guess.
Right.
And like that's not even a thing. That's not even a thing. That's not even a thing
I wouldn't trust the vaccine.
Like my thing is that it's not even like a thing of, oh, people chose that one because that's the cheapest or whatever. No, people signed up for vaccines and the government chose the cheapest one for them.
Yep.
Because they're not freaking teachers.
It's cost effective. We got a lot of people here. Let's purchase the cheapest doses possible.
I believe the phrase for that is culling the excess population.
But I mean, the funniest part of something like this to me is that, like, Hungary has been crying about people leaving for 10 years, maybe more. I don't remember. But like they've been basically holding freaking students hostage with freaking with a student debt and shit like that. Like, they'll pay it off, but you can't leave the country for 8 years. You have to work here. They will check in on you. And shit like that. And like, like, if the people actually, like, if you actually want a population, then maybe give a shit, like just a small one at least. Anyway, continue.
Who has to continue? Did we leave off on me, or were we talking about Alex? I don't remember.
Well, we started talking about E3.
Oh, yeah.
So, I
watched nothing regarding E3 except for the Nintendo Direct. And apparently that's all that was worth mentioning, so...
Yeah, outside of that, all there really is haha chaos.
Yeah, pretty much. The funny thing with that...
You haven't been paying attention to that?
I have no idea what chaos is.
All right.
So they revealed that Team Ninja, the guys of...
Screw those guys.
Boy,
they
Team
suck.
Ninja is just like all over the goddamn place, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Pink knows them.
Team Ninja is working on a new Final Fantasy game that is set in the Final Fantasy 1 universe, if not write a Final Fantasy remake. And it's... Addy, do you happen to have a picture of the new character designs?
Yes, I have a picture of James Hetfield.
Yeah.
But so there's actually, like, I have looked into it. And apparently, at least according to people who have played the demo of the freaking thing, because it's out, you can play the demo. Apparently, the freaking like the chaos is still somewhat there, but it only like the guy only says chaos twice in the whole demo. Like the whole "I'm here to kill chaos" was turned up by like 70% for the advertisement, and also they
Of course.
and also from the looks of it, the James Hetfield outfit for James Hetfield is like the basic starter gear that you drop immediately.
Right, but that doesn't change the fact that you were there a week ago when Aunt Mike posted that art from Final Fantasy 1, right?
Right.
Yeah, funnily enough, that's the first gear you get. The headband from that specific art piece is the first piece that you get for that character.
Yeah, but you don't get the blue armor, do you?
I don't know. I didn't play the freaking demo, dude, because people said they played like Neo, and I was like, okay, I don't care.
Yeah, so it's a very bizarre attempt at remaking Final Fantasy 1.
All right, let's see if this works.
Setting it in the Final Fantasy
There you go. That's James Hetfield.
That is James Hetfield.
Where nobody wears armor or anything. They wear a t-shirt and jeans. And our main guy is a buzzed haircut mid-2000s who is like, I'm going to kill chaos. Okay? I'm going to kill it. I need to kill chaos. I'm hungry to kill chaos. I'm thirsty to kill chaos. I'm horny for killing chaos.
Oh my!
I mean, like, my favorite interaction with that was, I think it was it was either a Square or freaking or Nintendo tweeted that we're here to kill chaos after that, and freaking Sonic the Hedgehog's Twitter replied, first time.
Yeah. What you gotta do, Eggman, is you gotta just punt him off the cliff.
Yeah. All James Hetfield has to do to break the freaking the time loop in Final Fantasy 1 is collect all of the 7 Chaos Emeralds.
Oh no.
no, the guy is actually the guy actually has like black hair, but he's already gone super Hetfield. That's why he's blonde.
Mr. President, what do you think about the attack on our space station by the moon people? You didn't watch that video I linked you like a fucking year ago, did you?
Which one?
The one where Obama has a Chaos Emerald?
I don't remember. I might have.
Yeah, I'll just have to say, like, you need to watch whoever.
Sure, I do. You got out.
But yeah, the really important thing about E3 is, for one thing, Metroid is back. Holy shit. Nobody expected that. Metroid seemed dead in Nintendo's eyes after Other M, and kind of understandably. Speaking of Team Ninja,
was that
Team
their
Ninja
problem?
is just hardcore. Either like they are fucking winners or they're fucking losers. Nowhere in between, you know?
I need to Google that. Did they do Other M?
They did do Other M, yes.
I knew I hated them for a reason.
Well,
they did Other M. They did. Well,
this is another reason.
Yeah, I was about to say the real reason you hate them, I think, is because of Ninja Gaiden.
All time, ever.
So apparently,
but they also did Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Apparently,
they did, but that one also has its problems.
And they did Dead or Alive, and that seems like your fighting game franchise.
That's also true. Darn it.
I mean, the thing with Team Ninja is apparently just don't get them for remakes.
Yeah. Don't get them to make a game in someone else's franchise, for the love of God.
Yeah. Because, like, DMC Devil May Cry.
No, that was Ninja Theory.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and Ninja Theory are the guys who did Heavenly Blade, Hellblade,
something
else with
Blade in the name.
Yeah, probably. Ninja Theory they're all right. They generally get it, but that one writer they have, Tamor Hussein, he's kind of a dick. He did write DMC Devil May Cry, so there you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember an interview. There was some Hollywood writer who worked with him on Journey, Odyssey to the West, and he said that Timur Hussein originally wrote a scene where the main guy, his name is Monkey, I think, because he's clearly supposed to be Sun Wukong,
Yeah.
runs into a innocent civilian who's hanging off the side of a ledge, screaming, "Help me, help me!" And Monkey goes, "Fuck you, no!" and then kicks him off the ledge, and it's just a random innocent. And like the Hollywood writer guy was like, "Oh, Tamara Hussein's a good guy. He just sometimes he doesn't, you're not allowed to criticize people in Hollywood. So I'm trying to think of a way of saying the guy's a fucking dick who doesn't understand how to write sympathetic characters."
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of in character for some Wukong, like pre-Journey to the West. Not in the middle of Journey to the West, though.
Yeah. It's the thing is, it's in character for Kratos, and Kratos was still pretty recent at that point.
Yeah. But like the whole thing with Journey to the West is that Wukong learning how to not be a shit heel as much, at least.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and then he declares war on heaven.
No, that was before it, I think. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, right. That's what gets him to no longer be a god, right, in the company of heaven, right?
I don't remember. I think it's something like Wukong was just a random monkey, but the gods wanted to evacuate or to move the monkey somewhere else, and then he got pissed, so he just beat up the gods. Wukong is the original. Wukong is the original Kratos.
Man.
Yeah. E3 sure as hell. Oh yeah, the one E3 news that I care about. Freaking Fatal Frame is back, y'all. It's totally not dead. I swear. It's definitely not on life support.
It's getting something, which is better than nothing.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if I'll have the money around the time of release, I'll get that game. I'll get the remake of the first game. They should have done the second one because that's the best one in the series. But hey, if they want to do remakes in chronological order, I won't fault them.
Now watch them announce another sequel, and it's like, oh hey, it's a fucking third-person shooter now.
Yeah. I mean,
we realized we were making a game for Addy, so we had to stop.
No, here's the thing, though. Technically speaking, going by just the mechanics, Fatal Frame is a third-person survival horror first-person shooter. So,
yes. You're just shooting them with your camera.
Yeah. So technically speaking, they could somehow rework that into a third-person shooter in a way that it could work, I guess. I don't know if I'd say it would be better or worse, but, you know.
Do it like an old,
this is just Doom.
Do it like an early 3D platformer where you just have a really awkward first-person.
Oh no, I have a better one. Just take the assets to Fatal Frame 2 and then place them into the Bubsy 3D engine. Instant win.
I'm sorry, the what engine?
Bubsy 3D.
Oh no. I thought you said 3D Realms like Duke Nukem. I was like, okay,
No.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Those ghosts are gonna pay for fucking up my dojo.
Have either of you played Bubsy 3D?
Nope.
I've seen Bubsy. I played it, but I've not.
I've
the
played.
The incredible thing is that the developers who made that still
Bubsy
working
3D.
today. No, Not only that, I think the developers who made that game made Days Gone.
Oh yeah, I think they did.
Yeah, which is shocking because Days Gone is actually pretty good.
But yeah, I have played Bubsy 3D, and let me tell you, that game's controls are.
That game is considered one of the worst of all time.
Well, yeah, for a good reason. I mean, like really all I need to explain, Pink, to you about Bubsy 3D is Bubsy 3D is a 3D platformer that has freaking tank controls and a camera where if you jump, it goes above the character's head. But not completely because that could be helpful. No, it lifts up to like a, I don't know, 35-degree angle. So that you get as obscure as you can without actually getting any more information.
That is nifty.
Yeah, that game came out after Super Mario 64, by the way. I'm pretty sure.
Technically an innovator, but who cares?
So yeah. As for my channel, because that's where we were before the E3 talk began. I have nothing coming out.
Wait. There's one last thing with E3 we haven't talked about.
What?
Throwing Kirby off a cliff.
Oh yeah.
Rest in peace, Kirby.
Well, no, Kirby's the only one who survived because
He'll be back.
Because he's Sakurai's favorite. You know what? I saw a funny edit of the scene from Tekken 7 that they're replicating with the freaking teaser where Kazuya's carrying Heihachi and then he drops him into the volcano and once Heihachi falls, the volcano turns into PlayStation All-Stars.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Like
that's good stuff there.
Yeah,
I saw some people saying like, yeah, that's pretty well. PlayStation All Stars is pretty well the only reason why Heihachi isn't the one they want instead.
Yeah, probably. I
mean, I love Kazuya, but Heihachi is by far the more iconic character.
Yeah. They should have put in Gon, the best Tekken character.
They should have put in who?
Gon. The little dinosaur from Tekken 3, yeah.
Oh, well, Gon might actually have worked, as much as I hate to say it.
Well, the issue with that is that Gon is not a Tekken character. Gon was licensed out from a manga. So.
No, I know. He's not even a video game character.
Yeah.
It's like, if there's any manga character that's getting added after all these years, they'd do fucking Goku just because so many people have asked.
I was going to say, well, they had freaking Naruto for the mix-up, but Naruto is just like nearly as much as Goku is. I don't know who the lamest like shonen protagonist they could add is.
The lamest choice. Oh boy, what's like the worst? Pick any isekai. There you go. That's the.
Freaking! I know the guy from Sword Art Online. What's his name?
Douchebag.
Yeah, I forget his name. I don't
know why his parents named him that.
But no, Douchebag isn't his real name. It's his screen name in Sword Art Online.
Douchebag 10342 because there's already a 103. There's already 1,031 other douchebags.
Let's make the freaking let's make the whole thing more modernized because this is a freaking like. He's getting added to a new game, so his freaking in-game name isn't Douchebag, it's Douchime Doucheface.
Yeah, there we go. And then it ends with a Lenny face.
Yeah.
So Kazuya is the second to last character getting added to Smash, correct, Pink?
This is correct. There's only one more after this.
And I guarantee you it'll be a Nintendo representative. Because
Maybe.
Nintendo likes to give a little bit of love to third parties, but at the end of the day, Nintendo makes it clear, hey, we're the only real business in town, fucker.
I personally look forward to the last character being Cat Mario.
Yeah.
Oh, you spoiled it.
If anything, it would be someone from Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
Is there any new Mario game coming out that isn't Rabbids?
I don't think so.
A lot of sports titles. Golf Mario.
All right, well, it's time for fucking not Waluigi because the fans would like that. No. Something that would piss people off. It's time for Strawberry Iron Peach.
Strawberry Iron Peach.
Yeah. They had low poly pink gold Peach.
Yeah.
Like they just ripped the low poly Peach model out of Super Mario 64 and then just put it into Smash with a freaking metallic texture, and there you have it. That's your new character.
Hidden Roof Yoshi. He automatically just stays out of the battle until one guy's left.
Alternatively, Hidden Roof Yoshi, who gets cancelled in the middle of the match.
Yeah.
Okay,
so Kazuya and Smash.
Mario. It'd be great.
If Metal Mario got introduced in Smash, so that'd be an odd, very circuitous way of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Kazuya and Smash, he looks strange.
He looks boring, but that's just a character in general, so...
He's got so many moves, and it's like, oh boy, and all of them are just punch and kick, which is not going to be appealing to people who aren't used to Tekken.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing he has that isn't punch or kick is the fucking devil laser.
Yeah. I mean, he can go into the devil form in certain moves, but I don't know how that works.
No,
it looks like he'll just be turning into the devil form for a single move.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, makes sense, because they don't want him to just be stuck with punch, punch, punch. Like, even Little Mac has a lot more maneuverability in there. But I'm happy to see, like, there had to be another Bamco representative at some point, because Bamco's developing the goddamn game. And I'm happy it was Kazuya. I would have preferred, like, Nightmare, but Kazuya works, you know?
I mean, if it was
I would have
Nightmare,
chosen Kuma or Ryu.
I mean,
all right. So, Addy, what have you got coming out on your channel this week?
They should have added the best Tekken 7 representative, Akuma. Anyway.
What, so we can have 3 Shotos in the game? That wouldn't piss people off at all.
I mean, people already said that Kazuya is a Shoto.
Yeah, but then they'd actually be right with Akuma, and we don't want that.
Yeah, I just think the idea of freaking them doing like a big hype reveal. Oh, a Tekken 7 character. Who is it? Akuma. Like the salt.
Tekken 7 character. Negan. What?
Yeah. Noctis. Nobody's
Whenever
happy.
He comes on the stage, you just hear, I hope you got your shitting pants on, DeMario.
Like, I feel like some people would be hyped for Negan at least. Noctis, if they would have put Noctis in as a Tekken representative, nobody would have been happy.
Right after another Final Fantasy character.
Yeah. Oh shit. But yeah, nothing's coming out on my channel because, yeah, I'm working on stuff.
All right,
W.
Well, for my channel, this morning, Street Fighter 4 core arcade playthrough with Bison and Zangief dropped. And then at some point this week, there will be a video release of Dead by Daylight, me and Mike playing, and that's the extent of what I had pre-recorded for this week, and there'll probably be nothing next week either.
All right. So, W, should we go with you first so you can go and have it backing?
No, we should go with what came out on the group channel first.
Oh, yeah, shit, I forgot.
We have a group channel?
What?
Sometimes. So, this is actually kind of a packed week. So, on Monday, we have the next part of Strider, whichever one it is. I need to zoom out so I can actually tell. Part 5. Then, on Tuesday, we have part 24 of Terraria.
Oh, it's been a while since we've recorded any Terraria, goddamn.
Yeah. Then, on Wednesday, it's Fighting Games R, The Return, with Street Fighter V Round 2.
Yeah. Woo.
And then finally, it's episode 6, I want to say? Yes, episode 6 of Ratchet and Clank.
All right.
And that's it.
All right.
So yeah, W. What did you do this week?
Yeah, I'll go up first, sure. Yeah, you can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so for my week, obviously quite a bit has been devoted to moving and cleaning up the house before we go. We are loading up the truck today and tomorrow and probably Monday as well. And then the truck will be heading out independent of us. And then on Tuesday, we will be signing the lease and then driving up to Virginia ourselves.
Fun.
Oh, sorry. What'd you say?
I just said fun.
Yeah,
But will country loads take you home?
The process has been... it's been going pretty efficiently. It's nerve-wracking regardless, because there's always that worry of like, oh, what if we didn't do it well enough? What if we run out of time? But it's actually been going pretty well. One thing that has been very annoying for me that I've had to deal with throughout this podcast is why I go dead silent sometimes. is that with all the stuff we are moving around that has not been touched for about 3 years, there is a load of dust in the air. And I mowed the lawn one last time, which of course set off grass allergies. So my body is devoting every calorie and protein. It is burning as much fat as possible to dedicate itself to producing as much mucus as is humanly possible. I have been a mucus fountain for the last 4 or 5 days.
That's unpleasant.
I have rubbed my nose very raw. The inside of my nose, though, the outside of my nose is fine, but the inside of my nose I have rubbed raw by blowing it so hard, I guess, which is painful, especially when I eat.
Yep.
Because it turns out you stretch your nose a lot when you move your mouth. So, yeah, that's nice. Outside of moving, I have done 3 other things. I'll just go ahead and slam them out. The first thing that I got done this week was I read through, it was a book I mentioned on last week's podcast, A Dark History China. I will say, like, as just a basic run through of Chinese history, it's pretty good. It never goes into detail, really, or, like, tries to explain things in detail. It never really talks too much about any one individual other than Qin Shi Huang, which is kind of lame and lazy because that's the one figure in Chinese history that American history books are already pretty happy to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many, like, okay, let's shoot for Pink here. Pink, how many Chinese historical figures do you know of other than Qin Shi Huang and Mao Zedong? Guan Yu, okay. Anyone else?
That's it. That's it.
Not even Deng Xiaoping. Okay. So, yeah, that was kind of lame. But it is neat because it does actually talk about the full breadth of Chinese history, even if it doesn't actually really talk about it in detail. So there's a lot of parts that American history skips over. Like like in school, we skip over the transition from the Ming dynasty to the Qing dynasty, which is pretty interesting because a lot of the stereotypes that we have of the Chinese are actually not really Chinese stereotypes so much as they are Manchurian stereotypes or Manchu.
Right.
Because the Manchu ruled over China during the Qing dynasty, which was when, imperialism happened and England and Russia and America all started fucking around in China and Japan. Japan saw us white people getting up to that and they're like, "Ooh, give me a piece of that action." What else was there? But overall, I actually thought the book was, like I said, it's just neat for like a quick glimpse over Chinese history. But there's also a lot that's wrong with it. For one thing, it's a book of about 6 chapters. 3 chapters are devoted to the imperial dynasties, and then 3 chapters are just devoted to Mao Zedong. Which is like, don't get me wrong, like I understand like Mao Zedong's pretty fucking important for modern China. But like, holy shit, that pretty well just treats everything that happened in imperial China as not mattering, you know?
Right.
And the other thing is, I figured when I was grabbing it off the shelves and buying it at the Barnes & Noble, I was figuring the title, A Dark History China, was just like a marketing thing. But it's, oh my god, it was fucking hilarious because, like, the author tries to make it a theme, and he's not a doctor or anything, he's just some asshole like Christopher Marcus or something like that. And he's just some asshole writing this book. And it shows at a couple points because there is one time where like he very clearly like in the middle of kind of a Chinese dark age, generally the transition between the Han dynasty and the Tang dynasty, there's kind of a dark age where it's just a big mess because of the War of the Three Kingdoms and the 5 barbarians and the 10 kingdoms and holy shit and all this and that. And then the author throws in a sense, this could be considered a dark history, and that it is literally darkness, as in we don't know what the fuck is going on. And it's like, oh my god, he honestly like remembered that he had a theme to this book and tried to just remind the audience of the theme, just to like say, hey, I have a theme. And it's like, oh my fucking god, this is the kind of thing I would put in like my school papers when I'm doing a shit job. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to have a better book on Chinese history, but like the thing is, when you want to go for like really quality stuff, you probably need to go for specifically, here's a book on the Ming Dynasty or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll be on the lookout for that going forward. It's a whole new world now that I'm aware that Barnes & Noble actually has a decently priced section of the store. I always thought it was all the monstrously priced $40 books. But no, actually decent $5, $10 book section. That's pretty good. It's pretty nice. The other two things I have done this week. Let's see. Just rolling along with China Week, I guess. I also was putting time into Total War 3 Kingdoms because I wanted to check out whether the game is quality and relatively bugless, since there was that whole snafu recently of them announcing that they were ceasing support for it after 2 years and 6 DLCs. And I heard some people saying, "Oh, the game's got bugs in it. It's in an unbearable state." And you guys both know how people make way too big of a deal over bugs in general, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I played 3 Kingdoms. I started off as Gongsun Zan in the far northeast, and it's cool that they let you just play as some random asshole warlord instead of, the big 3 of Liu Bei, Sun Jian, and Cao Cao.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Total War 3 Kingdoms is one of the best in the whole series, even if it doesn't get like another shit zillion more DLCs. I did not run into a single bug in my time, and I admittedly only put in like, 40, 50 turns, which on a full Total War playthrough, that's probably about a quarter of a playthrough. And so I was like, okay, well, then I need to look up a list. And thankfully, one of the top mods on the workshop is a protest mod that says we're fixing the bugs that Creative Assembly won't. And I went and checked the list, and it was just meaningless bullshit. Like, there is a ceremonial sword you have a slight chance to pick up if you own the Yubei Ping province. And if you own, it says that it provides +6 resolve and +6 authority, but actually it only provides +4 authority and +7 resolve. This is the kind of bug that is unbearable. Or another one is if you play as Tao Qian, if you own a province, Tao Qian starts on the east coast of China, the hard east coast of China. And if you own a province in the hard west of China, out in the fucking Gobi Desert, then there is one province where there is one specific building called militia watchtowers. And if you build it in that one province, it's supposed to provide the benefits of hold out in sieges for 2 more turns, -1 recruitment time for units, and also +4 public order. But the bug causes it to not provide the -1 turn to recruit units. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
In that one building in that one province, it's on the opposite side of goddamn China from Tao Qian. This is the kind of unbreakable this is the kind of unbearable bug, unmarketable bug that Creative Assembly abandoned Total War 3 Kingdoms and left it to the wolves for. How could you be so money-grubbing, Creative Assembly? You're the new EA! Oh my god, you guys are fucking idiots. I've seen an unrealistic amount of people bitching about them fucking getting rid of Ashigaru sex chat. And talking about how this is a betrayal and just further and further, I have honestly to God seen people saying they are actively trying to worsen the historical games to get people to buy the new Warhammer. And it's yes, that's right, I'm going to buy Warhammer 3 because I can't go do fucking Ashigaru sex chat in Shogun 2. What the actual fuck? I think part of it is because with these kinds of things, there's always a ringleader, isn't there? There's always a goddamn ringleader with these kinds of things. A YouTuber, always, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, there's some YouTuber named Volowund who makes just videos talking about how every Total War that came out after, let's say 2007, is a dumbed-down baby game for dumb baby manlet babies. And then what he does is, then people will come in the comments and they'll say, actually, you're wrong because this, that, and this, and you're also not acknowledging this, and so on and so forth, and usually intelligent points. And then this Volohan guy goes and replies in the comments with, "No, dumb baby manlet, you do not deserve my time or my talk. You have only proven that you are stupid as hell. Go away, knave." And it's well, if you're going to respond with that, why not just delete the fucking comment, dipshit? Oh, right, it's because you are deliberately doing this to get views and popularity.
I mean, here's the thing, W. that you're not taking into account. He's not deleting those comments because any comment is engagement with the video, which pushes it in the algorithm. So
that's what I mean.
So him having freaking flame wars in the comments, and people liking or disliking the video, regardless of which one they do, that's engagement with the video, which pushes the video to more people.
Yep. And that's why the best thing you can do for a YouTuber you hate is to just not watch their videos at all. Oh, thank you. I'll be down in just. All right, I just had a box of pizza handed to me. Okay, but
oh, you gonna share?
Yeah, let me just rub it all over my phone. That'll work. So yeah, I just it's funny that you mentioned. I just yesterday saw a Maximilian Dude tweet out that sometimes he'll deliberately mispronounce words in the video because he knows that'll get people to comment and be like, actually, it's pronounced so and so, and that drives up engagement.
Man, that's evil. Like
that's it's sick, isn't it? It's ooh. You kind of imagine like Dr. Evil from Austin Powers rubbing his hands, right?
Yeah.
That's good shit right there. That's good shit. And the last thing I did with my should I probably talk about Three Kingdoms a little bit? Yeah, Three Kingdoms is fucking good. It's in the vein of Shogun 2, which is to say that there's a divide in Total War. Some Total War games like Rome and Medieval and very much Warhammer focus on each faction having their own army lists that are very different from each other. Other ones like Shogun, Three Kingdoms, and unsurprisingly Empire and Napoleon focus more on each faction pretty well having the same stuff, just like one or two things they're slightly better at. And I think it works really well in Shogun. I think it works really well in Three Kingdoms. Empire and Napoleon, it's more than a little bit boring because, it's fucking early Imperial era warfare. Like, it's just, here's Cossacks and Dragoons and line infantry. Go nuts. It's a little bit boring, honestly. But Three Kingdoms, I think it works out pretty well. It's a lot of fun. The factions pretty well generally get a general pool of hand units to use, and then each faction gets one or two, maybe three unique units to use. And it can define a faction's identity, and it's a lot of fun, and every faction has an entirely different campaign mechanic, which is weird. I didn't realize, but I had chosen the right one by going with Gong Sun Zan, because his pretty well doesn't change his campaign at all. It's just like, oh, congrats, you get a couple more offices you can fill with officers who provide buffs for their faction. Which is like, oh, well, that's fucking easy. Whereas some other guys, it's like, you've got an entire meter mechanic you can use to turn China into one massive fucking civil war. It's like, oh, Jesus, you know?
You sure to save up your meter so you can EX on freaking
actually, yes. You're joking, but yes, pretty well. Like, some characters, I don't know who, if it's like Liu Bei or someone, or Lu Bu. Yeah, Lu Bu needs to build up meter, and it makes his army stronger. No, it doesn't even make his army stronger. It just makes him stronger.
I mean, like, it is Lu Bu.
It is Lu Bu, yes, of course. It's fucking Lu Bu, one of the most famous one-man armies in history. But goddamn, you know?
You want to talk about an actual person who had meter? It's probably Lu Bu.
Yeah, yeah, Lu Bu, like that's one thing. Like, people have complained about with Total War Three Kingdoms, like, because it has the Lord and Hero mechanic from Warhammer, where like your generals are veritable like one-man regiments who will take on an entire regiment of swordsmen or something and kick their asses. And it's like, yeah, well, not only is that accurate to the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, obviously, like, the majority of these assholes would not have been good in a fight. You know, that's just the nature of nobles leading in warfare. But, like, it does work very well for Lu Bu, because it's like, oh, well, there's Lu Bu. He's just taking on 3,000 swordsmen by himself.
Yeah.
Those 3,000 swordsmen have got to watch out. They're fucking fighting an uphill battle here.
I mean, if they're gonna make Three Kingdoms 2, then they should do the Dynasty Warriors thing and just randomly Lu Bu spawns in your province and wrecks shit. Like, especially if Lu Bu's supposed to be dead by that time. Especially then.
Depending on what's happened, that may actually already be in the game.
I see.
Because if Dongzhuo If Dong Zhuo dies, then his faction splits up and Lu Bu just fucks off and will just start randomly popping up all over China. And if you pick a certain start time, if you have a certain DLC, then the game starts off with Lu Bu just being free and rampaging across China. And it's like the focus of that campaign is Cao Cao is like, please, for the love of God, stop Lu Bu.
Oopsa Lubu.
Yeah, no kidding. Like, even Lu Bu's units are crazy. Like, he gets exclusive, like, super great sword units with giant fucking swords. And it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, even the people who follow Lu Bu into battle are fucking crazy bastards. And the other thing that I've done this week is I have finally beaten, after probably about 20 years, Jak and Daxter.
All right.
Yeah, it's a good old-fashioned quality old 3D platformer. I have to always mention this because it is like the most important part of the game in a bit of a way regarding how it handles platforming, which is that the double jump timing and jump timing in general is a bit strange. Like, they make it very tight, which you're not used to, because most of the time in platform, double jump timing is pretty loose. Just mash the button twice. All right, congrats, you got a double jump. But like here, you have to specifically wait for when Jak completes his first jump, the arc of his first jump, and then hit the button. But don't press it too late either, because if you press it too late, he doesn't do anything either. So a surprising amount of the difficulty in that game just comes from that. But once you get used to it, the game has a very good rhythm to it. And that's generally what you want in platformers, is that good feeling of when you're just plowing through a challenge, right?
Right.
So you get a lot of that. And I was pleasantly surprised by the boss fights. Because there's only 2 boss fights in the game, really. But both of them are pretty good examples of what Yahtzee, Zero Punctuation, always said. Or Ben Croshaw. Goddamn, the guy's got like a million different names. But he was always used to say a boss fight should not be what teaches you the lessons. It should be the test after all the lessons, right?
Right.
And all the boss fights do actually do a pretty good job of just being tests on the various lessons the game's been teaching you. And the game in general is pretty good about doing the thing of like setting you up with easier challenges right before the much more difficult version of that very same platforming mechanic occurs, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a pretty good game. I am definitely going to be... It's going to be interesting moving on to Jak 2 whenever I get to Virginia, because Jak 2 is an entirely different game. Do you guys know about Jak 2?
Nope.
Okay, we'll talk about Jak 2 when we get there. And with that, I'm probably going to take a hike. I'm going to eat some pizza and then start moving shit out into the truck. I hope you guys have a fun podcast without me. Have a good time, brothers.
All right, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Later.
All right.
So, Pink, what have you done?
What have I done? I had a pretty lackadaisical week. I have been playing a lot of Watch Dogs Legion. I got back into that after they provided us a bunch of updates recently.
Did you get the Aiden Pierce DLC?
What's that?
Did you get the Aiden Pierce DLC?
I have not gotten any DLC yet.
I actually don't know if it's DLC. But
what?
Yeah, Aiden Pierce is in the game, and so is Wrench, the characters from the first 2 games.
Ah. I knew Aiden was part of their DLC. I didn't know about Wrench.
So he's DLC. I didn't know.
Yes, he is in fact DLC.
Yeah, Wrench is also DLC. And so it's like... Watch Dogs is in a funny place with freaking... with continuity, because they keep insisting that Watch Dogs is not in the same universe as Assassin's Creed. But at the same time, a guy that disappears in 4 is in Watch Dogs 1, and you kill him in Watch Dogs 1. Also, in this game, there's literally an assassin that's the DLC. Like, they literally said, hey, member of the Assassin Order. Just straight up.
Yeah, they said they're gonna be doing a, like, sometime down the line in their... What do they call it there? It's not a game plan, it's a... what the heck do they call it? Roadmap. Their roadmap. They're scheduling a like Assassin's Creed worldwide event, probably across most of their games. Anything that's popular at the moment, anyway. Or maybe it's just a crossover between Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs Legion. I don't know. But yeah, they are planning some sort of crossover event in Watch Dogs with Assassin's Creed. So yeah, who knows what their actual lore is, what's connected and what's not.
But the actual
They may
lore
as well
is,
bite
I
the
can tell you,
bullet and just
I can tell
say-
you, Pink, the actual lore. The actual lore is that the guy who they fired for sexual harassment recently was the main game designer on most of their games, and he hated storytelling. Just flat out despised it. So he
Well,
was
that
like,
explains a lot.
yeah. And really, I can stop there. Like, he just really hated the idea that single player games need to have a story. And so that's why.
As far as I'm concerned, they should just go in and say, "Yep, everything's connected." Watch Dogs Legion, Assassin's Creed, one and same, sort of, in a way, but not really. Because why not? You know, why not?
I mean, they would have to
Anyway.
actually, like, they would actually have to give a shit about the parkour mechanic in Watch Dogs before they could connect the two, I guess, properly.
This is true. Yeah, I mean,
Like, the parkour
Yeah,
mechanic
I
has
guess
been
that would-
80% the same between 1 and 2, so I'm assuming not much changed between 2 and 3.
probably not. That would be funny if they introduced like an assassin type character to be recruited in Watch Dogs Legion, and his special perk is just that he has the Assassin's Creed parkour.
I mean, that would be fun, but no, it's lamer. I don't remember what it is, because they have revealed the Assassin's Creed character before the game came out.
Oh,
She's going to be
Nifty.
DLC. And I don't remember what her thing was, but it was basically just like, oh, she's for the Assassin Order, wears the white hoodie with red outlines because that's the Assassin's Creed thing, and then yeah, pre-order now, and that was that was basically the
And yeah,
advertisement.
pre-order now, please, thank you, etc.
Yeah.
You'd think after all these thousands of years of the Templars and Assassins going at it, the Templars would actually learn that Assassins typically wear white hoodies, so...
I mean, no, they've only started
No.
wearing white hoodies since Altair, which is only... I've been over 1,000 years. Like, you know,
Probably.
enough time that they should have picked up on it, but, you know.
All right. So yeah, Watch Dogs Legion. I didn't get far in the story. I haven't really been focusing on that whatsoever.
There is no story.
Yeah, there's no story probably. It's probably not great. But yeah, I'd just been kind of cruising around like an anti-reverse GTA where I'm actually just saving people who get arrested on the streets for no reason. Or maybe for a reason and actually letting criminals loose. But yeah. I just been cruising around, kind of causing a little bit of chaos. And outside of that, not a lot in Watch Dogs. I also played a lot of Civilization on my Switch. Nothing too interesting happened there. I played a game as Grand Colombia, wanted to do domination victory, spawned all alone on a continent, and wound up getting a diplomatic victory instead. So how the tables turned there.
I mean, you were really diplomatic. You said if you agree to my terms, you're not going to die, and then they agreed to the terms.
Yeah, I guess so. It was funny because I had intended, like I said, to do domination, but when I spawned all alone, I kind of had to change gears because I would have to learn how to swim across the ocean to get to my enemies. And by the time I found all the other players, they had all spawned on the same landmass as one another, and all those guys were going to war with each other. And then I was all alone on an island, just living in paradise. So I was like, "Yep, this is somehow wildly appropriate to let all the people sharing the one continent kill each other in wars, while I just sit back, relax, and watch them and obtain a diplomatic victory." It was rather amusing. And let's see, did I do anything outside of those? I absolutely did. Second episode of Loki was very good. They introduced the villain in this one, which is a alternate Loki, who is actually a female, and if anything's to be believed, which I haven't actually read anything about this, so I could just be pulling it out of my ass with no reference whatsoever, but I assume that they're going to make the Lady Loki Enchantress, because as of right now, the whole gimmick with the alternate Loki is that she had been putting people under enchantments, so I'm assuming that's where they're going to pull the name from, and just so that it doesn't confuse the audience as to, hey, we're talking about Loki. Okay, which Loki? The lady one, the male one. Just call her Enchantress. It clears up any confusion. It's mildly disappointing to me because I wanted Enchantress to appear as a villain in Thor later down the line, and making her an alternate Loki is kind of a bummer, but oh well. At least we're getting her in some capacity. But the second episode overall was very good. I think I liked it better than the first episode. I really liked the first episode, minus one scene, which kind of, to me, devalued uh, the rest of the MCU just a little too much.
Yeah, I heard people complain about that scene.
Yeah, that I feel like it just did a bit too much damage. And I don't know how I'd remove it or alter it in a way that it doesn't wreck things too much, but it is what it is. We'll carry forward. It's not
Dormammu retcons them on screen.
Yeah.
Like not even the scene. The entire characters. He just Dormammu appears on screen and then they get transferred to the freaking Chaos Dimension or whatever the hell. and it just didn't happen.
Right. Well, yeah. Other than that, I've been enjoying Loki this far. And
so, Pink, I actually do have a question about this whole setup they have. So, which Loki will turn into a horse?
That is a good question. We'll assume it's Tom Hiddleston. He can probably pull it off.
I mean, this whole the freaking the gender flipping thing actually works with Loki though, because like, okay, I was going to freaking reference the overly sarcastic productions video, forgetting that we talked about it because you brought it up. So hey,
yeah,
but yeah, it does work.
It does.
What if both Lokis turn into horses?
Oh, that would explain too much. You can't have that. Can't wait for the next episode though, because this one leaves off on kind of a cliffhanger, and I'm very eager to see where they go in the next one. And go ahead, you had something you were gonna say?
Yeah, I was just going to say that reminds me of Crash 4. The main antagonist, or one of the antagonists, I forget, has an alternate reality version of himself that's gender flipped, and basically the whole character freaking relationship between the two of them, between the original version and the gender flipped version, is that he really wants to fuck himself.
Okay.
Yeah, the child's game, by the way, like kid's game.
Yeah, understandable. Makes perfect sense. Why not?
But yeah. Continue.
What else did I do in my week? Played a lot of Hades. I recorded a lot of Hades. As I already mentioned, I was actually going to open up Steam just in case there was something else I did, but I don't think there was. Okay. I did play a lot of 2K19, but nothing new there. And did I watch anything? I definitely did. I don't remember what I watched though. So ignore that. It probably wasn't worth mentioning if I've forgotten it already. And final thing is actually no, I'm wrong. There is no final thing. So never mind. That's caps off my week.
All right. I guess I'll talk about my week.
All right.
So I actually haven't played anything this week. Like, I may have played KOF 2002 for fighting games are, but like, I don't think you'd care. Honestly.
KOF is that's the one with Terry. Yeah.
Yeah, KOF 2002 is KOF 2002 UM, because I need to specify because it's a technically a separate version, I think. Whatever. But yeah, it's just the King of Fighters, but with a lot of characters that I don't know because I apparently I skipped the NES arc, like most of it anyway, and also no arcade endings, which makes it so going through the arcade mode is fucking useless.
No arcade ending?
Yeah, not at all. I mean, it's a dream match game, so it kind of makes sense because it doesn't it's not supposed to be it's not supposed to affect the plot. At the same time, I could
Well,
have
you can
used
still add an ending to it.
yeah, like I could have still used non-canon endings. Like those would have been nice.
Yeah.
Because as it is right now, you go through the arcade, which isn't too long, honestly. So it works out, I guess. But like you go through the arcade, and then you beat the final boss. Maybe you beat the secret boss if you did really good against the final boss, and then you go back to menu, and that's it.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow, that's terrible.
So like usually I like fighting against the AI because freaking I can still learn things from it, and I can I can practice stuff that I would use against people against it, like reflexes and stuff like that, stuff that you can actually learn from the CPU as well. But one of the things that keeps me actually playing a fighting game are the arcade endings, because I need something, like I need a reason to give a shit about these people beating each other up. And
right.
So going through KOF 2002 has been kind of a struggle for me, just because there is no reason for me to do this aside from I need experience so I can talk about the game better.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even the experience, because I have played the game enough. I'd say it's just I need more recent experience, because I could say, oh, well, I remember this, but it would be nice if I could just say, oh, this. Anyway, so that. Also, there's been things that are not video game related. Actually, let's start with the other stuff, because I was going to start rambling, but I just remembered that I did other things too. So, for one, we recently recorded, but it's not published yet, and won't be for some time. Recorded another drawing thing where we drew all three of us for banner ideas, basically, more or less. And I did redo the line work on that, just in case we go back to it and freaking, like, basically I did the whole line work and all that in case we go back to it, so I could actually finish it in an hour. because freaking coloring and shading would have taken an hour, but because W is not available and stuff like that, I figured, oh well, I might as well just fucking finish it. So hey, there's that.
Very nice.
And I can actually, I think I can switch over the screen so people can see. And let me check. Can you see? You can see. All right. You have seen. You have been freaking given the power of sight, viewer. Anyway. So yeah, I did that. The freaking I didn't really like how your star turned out to look like a popsicle. And I wrote our names in freaking cursive because it's just a placeholder. Like if freaking, like, I don't actually like this whole thing with the channel art will have to be freaking discussed further more. So like if any parts of this were to be used, I wouldn't redraw them completely.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that. Then let's see if I can find this. Yes, I did. Actually, it goes into the other thing, so I'll leave that for the last one. I'm deciding between which things to send. But so Pink, I don't know how it is with your drawing program, but like with both GIMP and the one I'm using now, they have options to smooth out your strokes. So if you have a shitty freaking like a shitty scribbly hand like I do, because I have fucking dysgraphia and I don't have the fine motor skill to hold a fucking pen straight.
Right.
But like it tries to rectify that somewhat. I don't know if your thing has that, but the issue with
I think it does. I don't remember how to do it, but I'm pretty sure most programs nowadays do have something that operates like that.
Yeah, I usually had it turned up to 100 because I I didn't expect my lines aren't great. But like this will tie into the discussion later. But like one of the jokes that I've come up with that I find very amusing, just because it's kind of true. Like sometimes it just to me it feels like my lines in drawing are about as straight as I am, 50 to 80%. You know. But yeah. So I had it turned up to 100 because I wanted like really nice, clean lines, and I couldn't get that naturally. But it slowed down the drawing process a lot because I'm basically drawing with a delay, so the computer can figure out what shape I actually wanted to draw.
Right.
So I turned it down to a point where it doesn't actually do like it does still straighten some of the lines a bit, but it doesn't straighten it enough to actually like basically it still feels like raw input, more or less.
Right.
And to test that out, I made a new avatar because of fucking course I did. Like last week I said, oh, I'm not trying to make these weekly, and here I am making a new one this week. I mean, I actually am really not trying to make new ones every week, but like some like. For one, it's good practice because I know how I look. So
yeah,
that, and I'll also freaking like what's the word I'm looking for? Well, yeah, like really my plan with part of me freaking like openly being a furry and shit. Like part of it is like I want to do it everywhere. Once I have an avatar for more than like a month. It's probably more than like half a year, really, but I'll that's baby steps.
Yeah.
Because like I wouldn't want to switch avatars weekly everywhere. But yeah, so here's that one. This I drew completely with raw input, more or less.
Nice.
And it's probably the best avatar I've made, like overall.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm gonna put it on screen, I think. Let's see. It is on screen. All right, it was on screen. I had this whole thing set up for nice transitions, and then now I'm not doing them because hey, that requires effort. A thing that I don't have. But yeah, that's also this is the first time my persona has been in a video, like proper.
Ah.
Anyway. So yeah, that one actually turned out good. that one is good. I like that's like one of the ways that I check my art really is just that like I try to walk away from it for a couple of minutes and then I walk back and I'm like, if I saw this, if someone posted this as having had made it, would I like it? And yeah, like this to me looks good enough. Like obviously I'm not I'm not Picasso, but like considering everything, it's okay.
Yeah.
Then I also did the Zenyatta that W drew. I did my version of that, which y'all saw because I posted during the week. And that one, like that one as well, like that's the like that was the actual like the first test of just doing raw input drawing with like that, and like it turned out good enough that I was like, like if I saw this on a shirt, I wouldn't be surprised, and that was a good indicator to me that it's an okay piece of artwork at least.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can get Sanic shirts, so hey. Maybe it's not a good, maybe it's not a good way to discern quality, but hey, who knows?
Indeed.
And then to move on to the other thing, something that I won't show on screen, I just know already. But mainly because I was bored, I was like, hey, things have been going on, which I'll go into freaking further later. But things have been going on. And I don't feel like I can properly freaking express some of the stuff that's going on in my head sometimes. So what if I try to make it into a comic? into a short, like three panel comic. So this is basically a summary of what's been going on in my head for the last half year, more or less.
Don't ooh, $350 penalty.
I tried to make it funny. It's not my joke, but I tried to make it funny. Like I saw it and I was like, yes, I can use this.
I will be borrowing this. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, I did my own spin on it, kinda. I'd say. Anyway, so after last week's podcast, like I was going to tell this to WW too, but he left and I wasn't fast enough. But freaking like the part that he highlighted for the year-end compilation, that's actually the thing that set off this week for me, in a way, because after last week's podcast, obviously I was drained because we did a freaking 10-hour podcast.
Right. But and it was like maybe 3 a.m. in the morning for you?
4.
4? Oh my goodness, that's even worse.
It was like 4:30 when we stopped, because after we recorded the podcast, I played Ultimate Chicken Horse with Goku to test if Steam Remote Play works on his PC. So, yeah. I mean, it was fun, but yeah, I was a bit like done.
I believe it.
But yeah, so after that, like the moment I'm referencing is when I called Mike a bitch, and that was a funny, like it's a funny thing. So I'm gonna put it into the year-end compilation. Wait, but at the same time, like I felt like shit after it because I legitimately thought that Mike was doing a bit. That's why I called him a bitch, because he like usually bits between Mike and me are just us insulting each other. So
right.
So that, and then he said no, he actually didn't hear what I said, and I actually felt bad. Although one funny part that I have noticed is one funny part that I noticed going back over that is that he tried to retort, we just all no-sold it.
Right.
But yeah, so I felt kind of bad, and whenever I mess up, like whenever I trip even just a little bit, the human side, the guy who doesn't want me to be a furry.
Right.
He's like, well, obviously, this only happened because you're a furry. Fucking stop. And things like that. Like it is, I will go into detail, but I can't really, because it's mostly just like throwing things into like freaking throwing things at my head to make me question things.
Yeah.
And also fear tactics. I'll go into that later.
Oh.
Yeah. So sometimes it feels like if I actually went, like, if I relate some of this to an actual psychologist, which I might, because long story short, the psychologist that actually helped me way back when, I talked to my mom about this whole thing, and she was like, oh well, if she's in town, or if we'll have the money to freaking go where she lives now, and we will have the money for a freaking session or two, then we'll try, like, I'll try to schedule stuff with her. So I may get help eventually. I mean, okay, that feels like an asshole-ish thing to say to me though, because like y'all have been helping me so much.
Well, we're not professionals, so yeah.
But you're still helping, and that's what matters to me. Because like,
all right,
like the freaking, like, a professional opinion is important, just because I don't want to say, like, I don't want to say things, like I don't want to word things in a way that makes it seem like I'm sure about some of the ailments I may have, and a professional opinion would help either dispel those thoughts or make me sure of them. But that's basically all a professional opinion amounts to for me, because like I could get therapy, like they could actually set up a therapy regimen and all that, but like I don't know how it would work with long distance shit.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, so yeah, and freaking, I forgot. Like I lost the plot. That's why I said I would be rambling because I knew this would happen. Anyway, so where the fuck was I? Like I felt bad about freaking insulting Mike accidentally. Like it was in jest, but like that doesn't make it freaking good. But yeah, where the fuck was I? Like yeah, I got shit thrown at me, so I would question stuff. Where was that going to lead, Eddie? Find a fucking plot. This podcast needs to end sometime. We don't want another 10-hour podcast.
We're only almost maybe 2 hours in.
I can check. Give me a sec. We're at like an hour, a bit over an hour maybe. So yeah.
Right.
But so, like, like this happens sometimes. Like sometimes it just happens even if I don't mess up. But when I mess up, it happens for sure. And I mean, I don't know if it was because we did the 10-hour podcast. It probably wasn't. But I don't know if it was because we did the 10-hour podcast or it was because of this whole freaking thing. Because whenever I chip up once again, like freaking. All of that happens, and I also get depressed because, well, of course, I'm bullying myself. Like, but for the next 2 days after that podcast, I just felt like shit, like complete utter dog shit. No pun intended. But yeah, like I didn't want to do anything aside from sleep, and then freaking like it has given me time to think about stuff and like how I speak sometimes and stuff like that. Because like 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 this because I've said this. Like okay, fucking hell. First things first. I do feel like I freaking like every week I could come on like ever since I've come out as a furry. Every week I could come on this podcast and I go, hey guys, did y'all know I'm asexual and I'm furry? Because I'm gonna tell you about it again and again.
In case you didn't catch it the first time.
Yeah, like sometimes I think it's not detrimental just because like some of the comments I make have different contexts when you consider those things, but at the same time, we get it. And also like another thing is that like freaking like with how I deepen my voice just out of habit now. A lot of how I speak is monotone because I got used to speaking monotone because I was constantly trying to deepen my voice and also fucking depressed. And
yeah,
like most of the times when I lie to y'all, I'm not even trying to do it. Like in my head, the way I speak, it's obvious that I'm lying because I'm saying all these like I'm claiming all of like oh wait, I'm fuck words. But yeah, like to me, it's obvious that I'm making a joke because the contents of what I'm saying are supposed to be so fucking stupid that they couldn't be real. And then and in my head, I'm speaking in a manner that makes it obvious, but apparently not. So I need to work on that somehow, and I don't know how I'll do that. But like maybe it is time that I fucking force myself to speak in a higher register again, which I've been trying since W left, actually. Just because I don't know.
Practice.
Yeah, practice. But like my favorite part of this whole thing going on for like the thing in the comic, my favorite part of the thing in the comic is like I was actually going to make a second one concerning this specific thing, but like my favorite is how freaking like at first, like before this, I freaking like even though I didn't really like I didn't tell anyone that I wasn't ace. I also didn't tell anyone that I was. Like, okay, not in a way that I actually freaking took it seriously. But at the same time, because I was trying to freaking okay, yeah, that's a good thing to look up while I'm here. But because there's this one specific like thing that I wanted to bring up, but I don't remember, and that's bad because it could be useful to know.
Oh.
Okay, I don't think. Okay, thanks Google Translate for nothing. Because usually I just like write in a word, and Google Translate is good enough that if I forget a word, then it tells me what it thinks that word is, and I can double check it because I have it in my dictionary. I just don't remember right now. But yeah, like this, like I have this innate need to freaking to like it. I don't know a better word, so I guess I'll have to go with fucking Google's thing. But like I have this innate need to comply with everyone. Like I can't go against what other people want. I don't know why. Like which is funny because I've been trying to break out of this for a long time, but it doesn't work. And so that's why it's like freaking like that's why I'm having this whole issue because like a part of me is like, oh, you can't be asexual, you can't be a furry because normal people, whatever the fuck that means, normal people aren't.
Right.
And like it's gone to a point because like I spent a couple of months back. I didn't talk about this at the time because I probably when it came to the podcast, I probably forgot. And it also wasn't like notable enough, and like it wasn't funny enough for me to bring it up to actually remember to bring it up, more or less.
Yeah.
But a couple of months back, I just spent like a whole week, if not more, with my brain going, "Hey, you're gay," and then that's it. Like you're not actually ace. You're gay, and why? Like, no, it wasn't even. It wasn't even that. It wasn't even that. It actually wasn't even fucking that. It wasn't even that I'm gay. It's that. Oh fuck. Like yeah. So, well, my brain wasn't even going. No, you're gay, and you're not ace. You're gay. It was going. Oh no, you're gay, and it's your fault because you're a fucking furry. And the way I fucking stopped that. There is a funny part, and that's why I wanted to freaking that's why I thought about making it into a comic like that. Is because the way I fucking stopped it the first time, more on that later, was just going, oh yeah, what the fuck if I am gay then? And somehow that worked.
Yeah.
But this week it's come back again. Which I don't know why exactly. But I guess just freaking like I guess that freaking thing for compliance was just like, well, okay. I guess you're not straight then, but gay is normal. You can be gay. Be gay. Like, I don't.
You can't be a furry and you can't be asexual, but here are your options.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't bring shit like this up just because. Well, I feel like I assume it would make y'all uncomfortable. Like I can speak about this, but I have a bit of an issue with oversharing. So. So like I don't care particularly, but W usually gets uncomfortable to a level where I don't find it funny anymore. Whenever I bring shit like this up, like even last week that was another thing. Yeah, like when I brought up that my sister is trying to get me together with him, which by the way I fixed this week, but yeah. Freaking like when I brought that up, it didn't even occur to me that it could be awkward to W because we joke about it all the time and shit like that, and when he said it was awkward, I was like, oh, good.
Good.
But yeah, it wasn't due to anything that I've done that my sister stopped shipping me W. It just switched over like the freaking the topic came up again with my mom and my sister, just like me having relationships at all came up as a topic, and Instead of freaking going just freaking get together with W, they just started threatening me with sex. So hey, that's better. Like, one of the things said was legitimately, you can't escape your fate. It is your fate to sire your children.
It is your fate.
The second part wasn't, but like, like fuck. Like, that's just a funny freaking way to phrase that sentence.
It is. I like it.
So yeah. And so this week, freaking, my brain's been trying to freaking convince me that I'm gay, despite. Oh yeah, that's the thing that I wanted to point out. That's the thing that I forgot to point out. Right, good. So yes, the thing that I wanted to point out is that I don't talk about this shit because it would probably make you all uncomfortable. It's probably going to make you uncomfortable now.
Well, no.
But like, I'm a person who has lived most of their life, well, pretty much all of it really, up until now, in isolation, where I was left alone for long amounts of time. This time included my tween and early teen years, and in trying to figure out that I'm asexual, I may have looked at a shit ton of porn.
Oh.
I have enough experience to know that I'm fucking asexual. Like just going by the just going by the freaking the amount of data that I have. Like it's not 100%, but it's like 95. like I should have felt something about I should have felt something about something if things worked properly. Which I mean, technically I did once, and that is kind of embarrassing to me, just because like to me, like it's not even the content of what it was. It's just another thing of like, how the fuck did I not notice that I'm a furry? Because the only thing that ever got any fucking thing out of me was I saw this one freaking picture of furry porn that was just this buff wolf dude with his dick out, and then even then I was like, you know what? I'm liking the wolf dude, but I don't need the dick.
Put that away, but then we're golden.
Yeah, and like how does that go down in a person? And they don't go, yeah, maybe I'm a furry. That is something that I've been meaning to ask for a while now, but I don't remember. Is that like, was this a surprise to you too, or was it one of those things like when in the TV shows they have like an obvious gay character and they have an episode where they come out as gay and everyone already knows.
That's funny. I don't know.
Because like,
it kind of was sort of like that in a way, because you did dress up as a wolf in the Terraria content all those years ago, and that was kind of a recurring gag. So it was like, when you decide, hey guys, I'm a furry, I'm like, okay. I mean, it didn't shock nor surprise me, but it wasn't like totally out of left field or something that I was totally expecting. It's just kind of okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a hard switch.
Yeah.
All right, because yeah, I've been wondering about that, because the more I think about it, the more shit is like freaking like. The more I think about when I first could have noticed signs, the deeper it goes, which I have said before. But like, I'm remembering shit from all over the place. Like, do you remember when I had a furry avatar on the forums? Before this, I mean.
I actually don't. What was it?
Back in 2013, which would have been like the tail end of when I was fine with being myself, and when I started being a hard ass on myself, and then just going no fun. You freaking square peg fitting the round hole. Now, but like, I think it was in the first or second year that I was on the forum, so it was either 2013 or 2014. Freaking, I played through Dust and Elysian Tale recently at the time, and I really like the characters. And by the way, Dust and Elysian Tale is arguably a furry game because all of the characters are anthropomorphic made-up animals. So hey, So I played through Dust on Elysian Tale recently. I really liked it. So I made the main character my avatar for about half a year, and this was before I had a proper logo, so I can I had a reason to switch between avatars a lot back then.
Okay.
But yeah. So yeah, I recently remembered that, and I was like, fuck. Like, I mean, there is the even worse freaking story of, like, around the same time, I was trying to get into drawing for like the fifth time of my life at that moment. But like, yeah, I tried to draw a freaking self portrait, just like, because one of the things that you do in kindergarten and like low grades of school is they just go, oh well, draw yourself, draw how you see yourself. So
right.
So I was like, I'm gonna draw myself as practice, and then I started doing it. And so some parts I didn't like how some parts turned out, so I just kept redoing some parts. And then by the end of it, I had a wolf boy. How did I not like? Whenever shit like I remember shit like this, I'm like, okay, how? Like, how much did I have to repress the furry for me to not notice it when it was obviously there? Oh shit. So yeah. But yeah, so going back to the original story before I started going on a tangent. So yeah, my brain's been freaking going, you're gay this past week, which obviously, if I were gay, I would probably know. I think I should know by now. And to like, how do I phrase this so it's like, how do I give enough information about what happened without giving too much information? My daily struggles. Basically, whenever I do something very bad, as in like something that the part of my brain that doesn't want me to be a furry, that if I do something that part doesn't like, sometimes he just goes, all right, have a nightmare. And
have a nightmare.
Yeah.
Okay, then have a nightmare.
I mean, the last one I had, I actually talked about it on the podcast. The last one I had was fucking horrifying to me, and that's like that's how I know that that's how I know that it wasn't something that was freaking brought upon by something from the outside, because it, like, if I just explain what happened in that dream, it's not scary, but just the things that happened going down the way they did in it was really scary to me. And obviously, only I would know what I find terrifying like that. So
right.
But what is funnily enough, also, like, I don't usually remember how I see myself in these dreams, but usually when it's a nightmare that I get from the freaking the human part of my brain, I'm usually my persona. So hey, that's probably a good way to discern that too.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a specific part being attacked right now. But yeah, so the more recent thing that happened was that freaking. Okay, how do I phrase this once again? Well, basically, my brain just went, hey, I know you're gay because here's freaking softcore gay furry porn. And it was not nice, as you'd imagine. I mean, things. Anyway, yeah, it tried again today, actually, but because the fucking gay porn didn't work, I guess. It went with a more direct thing, and I had a nightmare about this podcast that we're on right now. Like, literally, this one that we're recording right now.
Oh, no.
Yeah, where there was a fourth member. Because I like, in my head, around the time that whatever discussion this was happening in, W was there. So was Goku. in the dream because I assumed he'd be here, which is like, you know, going through logically deconstructing dreams is probably not something worth your time, but at the same time, you can discern some stuff about how the brain works a bit. Because just because I was like, well, Goku's obviously gonna be there because he said that he might be free, and so he was there in the dream. But yeah, and there was a fifth member who was, I don't remember the profile pic properly, but basically what it amounted to was it was this guy who, if you remember, do you remember Smasher?
Yeah.
It was a guy.
Barely.
It was a guy with Smasher's personality, who was a furry, named Dread. And yeah, and that's like I was going to go out of my way and forget that or like not mention that because who gives a fuck. But it actually kind of fits into what happened after that, because I remember I remember getting angry at him in the dream, and then something happened. He DC'd, and I was like, and he was doing something to, like, basically before the argument in my dream, he was doing something that told me that freaking gave me the idea that if I pissed him off, then something bad is going to happen. I don't remember what it was, but yeah. So I think I legitimately in the dream told him to fuck off, and which he promptly did, and I felt the paranoia setting in my head, because I was like, oh fuck, I wasn't supposed to piss him off, was I? And before that could actually so sorry, I got a message by Goku on the side.
No problem.
But yeah, so that before it could set in properly, this whole thing of like before the paranoia could properly start, I guess the furry part of my brain intervened, because hard cut to me getting freaking to just like like hard cut to getting hugged by a person in a fursuit, not even an actual anthropomorphic animal, just a person in a fursuit, like obviously that. And the best part is, to me, like the funniest, most embarrassing part is I just remember before I woke up, literally seconds before I woke up, I just remember shouting, "Oh, the Snuggies!"
Snuggies.
Yeah. And then I woke up. But like that's funny to me for multiple reasons, because obviously I don't usually speak like that. but also I like that, like even though there's probably nothing to it. I mean, it's just the freaking the brain doing brain things. But I just like the idea that the freaking the furry part of my brain was like, oh no, I have to intervene. I have to save him. He needs help. But another funny thing to me is that, like, apparently, like, there is to be convinced that I desire freaking like cuddling, which is weird to me. Like, it's weird overall, but it's weird to me because whenever people as much as try to hug me, I physically recoil, and it's just been a thing that freaking that been happening since I've been 5. Like, I recoil and I stand up, and I just can't be hugged. I don't like physical contact, so why do I require it? Apparently.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Maybe no. I'm sure things will make sense in the future one day. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm still figuring things out, so who knows?
But yeah, whenever and I don't know what set it off exactly, but I have been getting a bit braver, I guess, is the best way to put it. Because, well, okay, it's not really getting the braver, it's just like, I don't know how much the comic conveys, but usually when I do stuff that is explicitly furry shit, I do it to spite the part of me that doesn't want to be a furry, because fuck him.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? If he's gonna do that, if I get fucking nightmares that freaking try to make me question shit that I should already know by all logical reasoning, then I'm just gonna fucking go for it and actually visit a couple of furry subreddits because hey, at worst I'll see more wolf dick. And I was pleasantly surprised because I didn't see wolf dick or any animal dick for that matter.
Moderate relief. Yeah.
From what I can tell, the community has progressed to a point where not literally everything is just porn.
That's nice.
Yeah, like it seems like there's like I know of at least one subreddit that is specifically dedicated to that, which I mean, good for them, for those who can actually use it. and then the freaking the two main subreddits have a words have a freaking rule that's like, you know, don't post porn, please. Like even cropped porn. If
even cropped.
Yeah. That's another thing. Like I've noticed because back in my day, back in 2013, when I learned about the word GIF. Pink, do you know what the word GIF means?
Are you saying GIF or YIF?
YIF.
YIF?
YIFF.
Okay. Nope, I don't know what that means.
All right. So Pink, YIF is the furry word for fuck. Or
why is it different?
Because furries have a specific vernacular that like there's technically it's usually just memes, but technically you could say that there's a separate furry language that's just like 80% based on English. But like, because there are a couple of words that like it's like fighting game jargon, really. Like there's just things that furries use a lot because they know what they mean, but other people don't.
Oh.
I still don't know what the fuck muzzling is. Anyway.
That's an excellent question.
Yeah. So, YIF means fuck. At least that's what I thought. Or at least that's what I think it meant when I learned about it around 2013. But apparently that's been transformed to just mean porn. Which I mean, I can see how it would happen with the language evolving, which is a funny thing to say about the fucking furry language, fucking OVO. It doesn't even have a proper name, but it's not a proper language. But it still shows it still shows the growth, the same growth that real languages get. And that's kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
Like
it is interesting.
Like when you think about it, technically speaking, furry is a more alive language than Latin.
That's very true.
So yeah. But like most of the freaking most of the like the two main subreddits. That's the thing I was trying to go for. Yeah, the two most fuck. I can't speak. Work brain. That's what you're used. That's what you're used for working, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so they seem to be moderated pretty fairly, so that like, you know, softcore stuff and cropped stuff maybe can appear on the main subreddits, but like those need to be marked not safe for work. So it works out so that I can only see shit that are not sexual in nature.
Mm-hmm.
And there's I was pleasantly surprised by how well the community regulates itself now, because like I've seen some people get horny on posts that weren't horny in nature, and they were told to fuck off somewhere else. not in those words, but you know, basically. And like you know, I have to say, like I was kind of surprised that like freaking they seem nice. They seem like actual people. What the fuck? Actual people on actual people? I never would have guessed.
No, that's wild.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well,
is that legal?
I don't know if that's legal, Pink. But another thing that I was surprised to find out is just like the amount of asexual furries there seem to be, because freaking like I've already seen like I don't want to freaking I don't know. Like there's one main furry meme subreddit which sometimes I'm tempted to post stuff now because it actually is funny, but I'm like, oh well, it's furry shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there have been like I've already there's like 10 to 15 posts daily there from the looks of it, because you know people usually draw their own shit and that takes time. We should know.
Yes. Yep.
And so I've already like this is I think the second or third day that I visit just to fucking spite my other side, and because some of the memes are actually good. And I've already seen like just today I think there were like 3 or 4 different memes that were just like, calling out the horny in the community. Like I will post one meme because I thought it was like this is not furry enough that y'all shouldn't like it should get into way for y'all. There you go. Because it's Avatar, it's just words being changed.
Yeah.
But this seems to be this actually seems to be the sense of the wider community from what I can tell.
I love it.
Yeah, and most of the memes I've seen like seem to be either be like actually kind of funny shit. There's a small percentage of stuff that is like, oh, that can only work in furry stuff, but like usually it's just here's an actual joke but with furry characters. And like so sometimes I'm tempted to post those because yeah, I mean, funny joke, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. That's the end of the sentence, I guess.
I don't know.
But there's also a surprising amount of just wholesome memes, words. And I was surprised by that because, I mean, I don't know. I was surprised by that, but I was. So, yeah. I think that's all I've done. Because, I mean, it's mostly just been freaking, like, it's mostly just been either my brain calling me birds. Anyway, it was either, like, most of my weeks was spent, well, for one, sleeping, because the depression is nice, and like, the depression is nice because I'm feeling sleepy all the time, but I can't sleep more than 2 hours at a time. It works out. But yeah, like, the week's been spent with sleeping, my brain calling me gay, or me going on the fucking furry subreddits just to fucking spite him. Oh yeah, the other thing, the last thing, the actual last thing that I remember, and that's like that to me shows that some of like this furry shit is kind of working, because for the first time in, have I been on the forums for 8 years? I think I have been. Like, this is the 8th year. Then
probably, yeah. That sounds right.
I mean, I joined in 2013, so
yeah.
How many years would that be? I don't fucking know. I'm not good at maths.
2013. What year is it now? 2021.
So it would have been 7 to 2020, and yeah, this is the 8th year then.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is my 8th year on the forums. So it has been 8, maybe 9 years since the last time I tried to actually like speak with people. Because like, that came off as saying that no one on the forums is people, but like, no, y'all are the last people I spoke with. You just got stuck with me. But yeah, like it's been that long because nearly immediately after I joined the forums, the freaking the social anxiety got like worsened, and I've not been able to freaking to really interact with people outside of my comfort zone. So since then, aside from when people comment on my videos, because I feel like I have to reply because they watched my shitty ass video. But yeah, but I was tempted yesterday to check if freaking check for any like freaking specifically furry communities on Discord because I mean, fuck it, might as well. I don't want to bombard y'all with the furry shit because I feel bad about it. Like you said you're fine. Like both of you have said that you're fine with it, but at the same time,
Right.
like I don't want to freaking abuse it. And I'm not a brave enough boy to actually go and talk with people yet. But I mean, the fact that I was tempted to do it means that I'm healing. I think.
Probably.
So yeah, I think that's all I've done. So I don't know. Pink, do you think we can call this a podcast?
We can probably call that a podcast.
All right. Well, folks, we'll see you next week with the next episode of freaking Shut Your Mouth Z. See y'all.
Shut your mouth, Z.